This is WTF, West Bank Talks Finance. And on this episode, we are looking at perceptions, perspectives, and answering real questions from real people on the topic of GFV, short for Guaranteed Future Value. I'm Lebogang Khawaketse. GFV is a type of finance deal that guarantees that the future value of your car is locked in upfront. If you are thinking, so what? Well, one of the main benefits is that this option could be ideal if you want to be driving a new car more often. The trade-off is mileage limits and fair wear and tear rules. GFV is still new in South Africa, but chatter on this topic is increasing. Let's dive in so you can get a better picture of how this type of car financing works, and more importantly, if it's going to work for you. Here's someone's opinion that we spotted on my broadband. If I was looking to get into the market of never owning a vehicle again, then as a concept, the GFV deals make sense. You basically lease the vehicle for X months. Here's the thing. GFV agreements aren't leases. They are still installment sale agreements. Because at the end of the finance term, you've got options that a lease won't give you. At the end, you've got three choices. Trade it in for a new one, keep it by paying or refinancing the GFV amount, which means taking a new loan for the balance, or hand it back, as long as you've stayed within the mileage and wear and tear rules. Here's another angle we've spotted on the My Broadband forum. And when month 36, 72 or whatever comes around, they will find something to deduct off the GFV amount. You will never win. Mileage and condition do matter here. And yes, if you go over what was agreed in the contract, you'll be charged accordingly. If you go way over or return the car in a bad condition, then you've got a sticky situation. You'll only have the option to either settle the GFV amount or trade it in. Bottom line, stick to the agreement and you won't have nasty surprises at the end of the finance term. This next one is a very common one we get asked. Can I sell or trade in my car before the GFV term ends? Yes, you can, but you'll need to settle what's still owed under your GFV agreement, including the balloon payment. How does GFV make my monthly payment lower? Here's how it works. The bank sets a guaranteed value for your car at the end of the contract, usually after 3 to 4 years. During the term, you are basically only paying the difference between the selling price and that future value. That means smaller installments than traditional finance because you are not paying off the full price. Think of it as shifting a chunk to the end when you'll have the choices that we've already spoken about. And I'll remind you again, the option to return only applies if you've kept within the mileage and wear and tear rules. Another concern people raise is about the car's value at the end, like this one. What if the car is worth less than the GFV at the end? Great question. This risk sits with the bank, not you. If the market value has dropped below the guaranteed amount, you are covered. If you've stayed within the mileage and wear and tear conditions, you can hand the car back without paying the difference. This is the essence of why it's called a guaranteed future value. So this all sounds great, right? But let's keep it real with this important question. What are the risks of GFV? Okay, so here it is. GFV works well if you want predictable costs, lower installments, and the flexibility to change cars more often. The only decision comes at the end. Return, refinance, or settle. The main risk comes in if you disregard the mileage and or condition rules, or if you forget about that balloon payment that's due if you choose to keep the car. So the bottom line is, if you plan well and stick to the conditions stated in your agreement, GFV can be a solid option to consider. I'm sure you're expecting this next question. Why choose GFV instead of traditional finance? A few key reasons. The first one, lower monthly payments. 2, you want to drive a new car more often. And 3, if protection from depreciation appeals to you. Also, if you're a low mileage driver who looks after your car, then you are GFV aligned. On the other hand, if you are into long-term car relationships and are known for racking up the kilometers, traditional finance will make more sense for you. It's all about what works for your lifestyle. And that's it. GFV in a nutshell. If you have any questions we didn't cover here, please do drop them in the comments. We will answer them for you there. And if you have suggestions for other topics, drop them in the comments as well, and we'll tackle them in a future episode. Thank you for listening.